Hey guys, today is June 10th, 2017. Just so you have a heads up ahead of time, if you hear a few pauses during the video, it's just because I'm drinking water. So the reason I'm making this video today is I saw about 3 requests for today's numbers in my most recent video. And I just wanted to address with you guys, if you're new and coming on the channel here, I don't do today's numbers. And the reason I don't do that is even on my other numbers, I can typically get, pretty close, like 2 digits, and then be like 1 digit off. And it's usually very close. And the other reason I don't do that is plain and simple, I just don't have time usually. It can take me, for each date that I'm looking at, it can take any time in between 5 minutes to an hour. It just depends on the state. And I don't want you guys to think I'm just ignoring you. I'm not. I just don't have time. Not only that, like, I could give you guys like just random numbers that I think may hit in the states. For example, like tomorrow I could say, this is hypothetical. This is not what I believe. So I could tell you, tomorrow, go play 415 and 708 and 239. But I haven't done research on that. Like, I have no idea. Maybe I have not even looked at the states yet. I don't know. So, but I guarantee you guys that one or two or three people are gonna misunderstand the point of this video and tell me tomorrow, oh, thanks for, the hits, and it may hit, of course they may hit in one or two states, potentially. But you shouldn't rely on that, because that's just, I really just on the spot right now, like, made up those numbers. So it's not reliable. Like, don't rely on that stuff. Make sure that if you're getting numbers like that you are researching it yourself. And then from there, you can always take the numbers from there if it's reliable for your state. But about 90% of the time, it's not going to be accurate. Of course, it's going to hit in one or two states, probably. Because we have 50 states that they may go to. So just keep that in mind, guys. I don't do today's numbers like that. And after this video, if you ask me for today's numbers again, I'm just gonna ignore you. Like, don't do that. Okay, so anyway, and this mostly applies for the people who are asking me every day. I've been repeating myself and repeating myself. So that's the main reason, I don't do today's numbers. I don't mind helping you guys if after my numbers, like, if you guys have questions, then that's fine. Like, I don't mind clarifying. Or if you're just asking for help for your state, okay, yeah, I probably won't get to it today, most likely. I may. It just depends on whether or not if I have time to do that. But yeah, I don't do today's numbers, so don't ask me. Okay, so I can't really take credit for this. I don't do weekly numbers, but I do pay attention to traveling numbers like you guys see every week. So if you're going to ask me for weekly numbers, then just look at the traveling numbers. Those are my weekly numbers. So just look at that. And then one moment. Okay, so if you're going to play the traveling numbers, I do recommend that you're testing it in your own states. before you play. And also, I'm a really big advocate for the pairs. I just am. So if you have questions on what pairs are or how to get that method down, there's 2 pair videos that I've already made. So I'm not gonna pay or I'm not gonna spend time on that. So, but for the traveling numbers, just for an example, the one I just did, I gave you guys like 7 or 8 numbers, I think it is, or was. So I do not recommend you're playing, all 8 numbers on each side, like day and evening. You're going to have to focus and figure out, which number you like the best for your state. And then just play one number. And then the other thing is, I don't recommend that you hold the traveling number for more than 7 days. And the reason I say that is they're traveling numbers. So what that means is that they're not going to necessarily go to each and every single state. So that's why I don't recommend holding them for longer than 7 days. The only exception to this is if you have figured out that your state is like a slow state, then the longest I would recommend in that case would be up to 14 days. But that's the only exception to that. Okay, so this next part, guys, I'm gonna give you guys a guide to my monthly numbers. So if you've been with this channel for a while, you know that I'm pretty decent at getting 2 digits at least, and on all the 6 numbers that I give you guys. So I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in the past, but for the monthly numbers again, I do not recommend that you're playing all 6 numbers at once. That's not the way to go about it. So what you want to do, because I'm pretty good at getting the 2-digit number, you want to wait until, so in the meantime, until you get that first hit for the month, you want to wait until, in the meantime, you want to just focus on pairs. And it's not gonna, it's gonna be more based on what you're, try to ignore the numbers for the monthly numbers when you're looking for your pairs at first, if you are gonna play. If you're not gonna play, just wait until your first hit. And what you're looking for, you're gonna be looking for the 2-digit hit. So let's say, for example, like hypothetically, like say you had 3, 2, 1 hit, and then on one of my numbers I said 3, 2, 8. So that's when you want to pay attention, and I'll give you guys an example in just a minute on that. So on how to adjust your numbers based on that. Okay, and then on this next one, it says when only one number left from the sets, play that number. And again, I'll show you in just a minute in a example. And then this last part, at the end here, this last part, just keep in mind that you don't want to hold the number for longer than 21 days. And I'll explain all that in just a moment here. Okay, and then the next thing is the adjusted number thing that I'm about to explain. It doesn't apply if one of the 3 digits that I recommend, if they hit either box or straight, then it doesn't apply for what I'm about to discuss with you guys. And this what I'm about to discuss with you guys, it does not apply for the traveling numbers. They're gonna stay exactly the same, unless you know that, say like 329. Let's say for your state, like say I recommended 329, but it's more likely to come in as 923, for example, then that's the only reason you would switch the traveling numbers. Like, you would rotate the numbers, but you're not going to adjust the traveling numbers because those are, they're not going to change. They're going to be exactly the same on how I show you. So it does not apply for the traveling numbers, what I'm about to show you. So I wanted to give you guys an example. So for the numbers that I recommended for Ohio, and again, this is if this does not apply if, like, say the number would have came in as 503 with Ohio, then you're gonna ignore this. You're not gonna do what I say right now. But so the example I want to show you guys on the 2-digit thing that I keep referencing. So in May, I don't know the exact dates or anything, but okay, so it was either 691 691 had hit. So I was looking at my numbers. So you see how, so my numbers that I recommended are on the left-hand side here. And then the numbers that hit, they're on the right-hand side. So 691 had hit. So you see how I had 693. So what that means to me, that means that you should go ahead and you wouldn't necessarily play yet, but you would know to adjust that 813 down to 811. And in one of my videos, I was explaining this for Ohio, and I hadn't seen the number yet. And I was taping the video, and it turns out that 811 had hit on the day that I was explaining some of this stuff a little bit in my previous videos, which was it's pretty cool. But so what that tells you, so at that point you would have known, okay, so 693 didn't hit, but 691 did. And then you would, you saw 813 did not hit, but you had 811 hit. And then they don't necessarily always hit like that, like where they're straight like that, but they might come as box, so keep that in mind. So, and then when I would start playing, so once I saw 691 and then 811 hit from that, then I would have adjusted the number, or I did. I did tell the person in Ohio, I said, hey, make sure you're switching that 503 to 501. And they were saying, yeah, I really like that number. I've been playing it a lot. And then 501, it ended up hitting on the last day of the month, on the 31st. So I'm so sorry. I think it was Treva. I think it was you who I had said, hey, never mind, don't play that number. It's been out for a year. So I wish I would have listened to what I said. I hope you ignored me and played it anyway. Because I kept telling you, hey, I'm not sure whether or not you should play it because I haven't seen it hit in over a year. So I'm really hoping you ignored me on that and played. But and what else? Oh, so that's basically how you would adjust the numbers. And like I said, for some reason sometimes I'm only able to get the 2 digits. And then so the other thing is not, so treat these two numbers. So these 6 sets, or it's not 6 sets, these 6 numbers, you're going to treat them separately. So you see how I had 503, 813, 693. Those 3 numbers, they go together. And then you're going to treat these mirrors different also. So that's going to be the 058, 368, and 841. So in May, 841, it did hit for Ohio. And then if it was me, I would have, oh yeah, so that's just a box hit. So I would have just left the numbers alone. So 368 and 058, they did not hit though. So you don't want to really be focused on all 6 of these numbers to to apply these rules to. You just want to be focused on, 3 is separate than these 3 down here. On,